Chapter 1: The Crash. The blizzard howled like a dying beast, swallowing the landscape in a merciless white fury. Lieutenant Kara Voss stumbled through the snow, her breath ragged, her limbs numb. The escape pod's emergency beacon had failed, and her thermal suit was barely holding together. Stupid, she cursed herself. Should have stayed with the wreckage. But the pod had crashed near a ravine, and the ice was unstable. Now she was lost in an uncharted Arctic hellscape on some backwater planet, light years from human space. Light. A flicker in the distance. A structure. Kara forced her legs forward, her vision blurring. The shape solidified into a small, dome-like habitation unit, half buried in snow. Alien design, sleek, curved, definitely not human. Occupied or abandoned. She didn't care. She was freezing to death. With the last of her strength, she pounded on the door. Chapter 2: The Alien. The door hissed open. A towering figure loomed in the dim light, tall, broad-shouldered, with dark, iridescent scales and piercing silver eyes. Vhaxxian. Kara's pulse spiked. The Vhaxxians were a warrior species, notorious for their territorial aggression. And this one looked pissed. "Human," he growled, voice like gravel. "You are trespassing." Kara's teeth chattered. Please. My ship crashed. I'll die out there." The alien's nostrils flared, his breath visible in the cold air. His gaze flicked over her, frostbitten, shivering, barely standing. Then, with a snarl, he grabbed her arm and yanked her inside. The door slammed shut behind her. Chapter 3: The Command. Warmth. Blessed, agonizing warmth. Kara collapsed against the wall, gasping as feeling returned to her limbs in painful prickles. The alien, her unlikely savior, stalked to the other side of the room, his tail lashing. "You are a fool," he muttered. "No human survives the Zorathian ice storms." Lucky me then," Kara managed. He turned, eyes narrowing. "You will not last the night." She blinked. "Excuse me. Your thermal suit is failing. Your core temperature is still dropping." He stepped closer, looming over her. "You will die unless you generate heat." Kara's brain short-circuited. What?" The alien exhaled sharply, as if dealing with an idiot. Then he grabbed her again, this time hauling her toward a raised sleeping platform covered in thick furs. "Get in," he ordered. Kara balked. "Your bed." "Yes." His voice left no room for argument. "Body heat is the only way you will survive." She stared at him. "You're joking." His silver eyes burned. "Do I look like I joke, human?" Kara opened her mouth, then shut it. He was right. Chapter 4: The Warmth. Grudgingly, Kara climbed into the bed. The furs were surprisingly soft, radiating residual warmth. The alien followed, his massive frame settling beside her. Too close. Kara stiffened. "You're also getting in." He shot her an incredulous look. "How else will you stay alive?" "You," she sputtered. "This is highly inappropriate." The alien scoffed. "Your prudish human customs mean nothing here. Survival is logical." Then, before she could protest further, he yanked her against him. Kara yelped as her back pressed against his chest, his arms wrapping around her. His body was scalding compared to hers, his natural body temperature far higher than a human's. "Stop squirming," he rumbled. "This is weird," Kara hissed. "Dying is weirder." She couldn't argue with that. Slowly, the heat seeped into her bones. Her shivering eased. Against her will, exhaustion dragged her under. The last thing she heard was the alien's voice, low and grudging. "Stubborn human. Chapter 5. The Awakening. Kara woke to warmth, and an arm draped over her waist. She bolted upright, nearly head-butting the alien in the process. He jerked awake, silver eyes flashing. "What?" he snapped. "We," Kara gestured wildly. "You hugged me." The alien blinked. Then to her shock he laughed, a deep, rough sound. "You were cold," he said, as if explaining to a child. "I regulated your temperature." Kara's face burned. "Yeah, well thanks. But we're not doing that again." He smirked. "If you insist." Chapter 6. The Truth. Over the next few days, Kara learned 3 things. The alien's name was Zareth. He was an exile, banished from his people for reasons he refused to share. He was infuriatingly smug about saving her life. "You would be an icicle without me," he remarked as she repaired her damaged comms device. Kara scowled. "And you'd be lonely without me." Zareth went silent. She glanced up and saw something raw in his expression. Then it was gone. "Perhaps," he admitted quietly. Chapter 7. The Rescue. On the 5th day, Kara's comm crackled to life. "Anyone reading this, respond." Her heart leaped. "This is Lieutenant Kara Voss. I'm alive. Sending coordinates now." Zareth watched from the doorway, arms crossed. Kara turned to him, suddenly hesitant. "You could come with me." He shook his head. "I am exiled. Your people would detain me." She swallowed. "Then I'll stay." Zareth's eyes widened. "What?" "I owe you my life," Kara said firmly. "I'm not leaving you here alone." For the first time, the mighty Vhaxxian looked speechless. "Stubborn human," he muttered again. But this time it sounded almost fond. Epilogue. The Choice. The rescue ship arrived. Kara stood at the door, looking back at Zareth. "Last chance," she said. He hesitated. Then, with a growl, he grabbed his pack and followed her outside. The human crew gasped, reaching for weapons, but Kara stepped in front of him. "He's with me." Zareth's lips curled in a rare, genuine smile. And as the ship lifted off, Kara knew one thing for certain. She'd never be cold again.